What's going on, everyone? ActivesiN here, and we got some rumors for the Nintendo Switch from VentureBeat. They have sources that say that the Nintendo Switch will be using Nvidia's last generation MAXWELL graphics chip and not their new Pascal chip. So the older MAXWELL chips run on the 20nm process as opposed to the new Pascal chips, which run on the 16nm process. So they're saying it's going to be a custom version of the X1 Tegra chip that was previously in the Nvidia Shield, which is still more than enough to play Nintendo style games which focus more on art design, but it will not have the horsepower to give the same high fidelity graphics as the PS4. It says here in the article that the Switch will have more than enough to satisfy most gamers by being able to run games like Skyrim and NBA 2K, but again won't have the same kind of graphical fidelity, which again is understandable considering this is a tablet design, so that's just gonna be what it is. It says here, while the Switch doesn't have as much horsepower as the PlayStation 4, it could still handle many modern games. Nvidia will likely build the Tegra chip to run at a higher clock speed when receiving a constant source of power in its dock, and that could make a big difference. In portable mode, games will run at 720p on the 6.2 inch screen, and when you plug it into the dock it will bring it up to 1080p. Even without the highest end graphics, the Switch will have a lot of Nintendo titles like Zelda Breath of the Wild, which Nintendo has recently shown running on the Switch, which was very smooth on the Jimmy Fallon show. It also says here another reason Nintendo is going with the older architecture is that it takes a while to design and launch a console. Nvidia's Pascal based chips came out first for desktops earlier in the spring and then for laptops later in the summer. These chips are both more powerful and more power efficient than the previous MAXWELL generation that debuted in 2014, but the desktop and laptop chips are too big and rely on a lot of extra cooling for their designs. So that wasn't going to work for this tablet. So that is the reasoning behind it, according to this article. It also says that going with MAXWELL means that the Nintendo box will likely be a lot cheaper than other brand new consoles, which typically launch between $400 to $600. Using MAXWELL with embedded ARM technology will make the chips cheaper, so they don't really give a price tag here, but most of the rumors are saying $250 to $300, so that's probably how they're going to reach that price point, by using the MAXWELL chips as opposed to the Pascal ones. So yeah, there you go. So you can expect somewhere between Xbox One, or possibly less than the Xbox One. Doesn't really talk about the Xbox in here, so somewhere in the ballpark of Xbox One, but it will be less powerful than the standard PS4, as before we even obviously get into the PS4 Pro and later 2017 into the Xbox Scorpio. And now obviously Nintendo is going a very different route than Sony and Microsoft, who are fighting over power and graphics. Nintendo is offering a very different experience with the Switch, where you can take console quality games on the go, and that's just what they're aiming for, and it looks like it's working. A lot of people are excited for the Switch, so I personally am not too worried about this. Like, the architecture that they're using with Nvidia will make it a lot easier for games to be ported over, so the power gap isn't as big of a problem as it was with the Wii U. Since it was using PowerPC, it would cost a lot of money to port the games over, so it just wasn't worth it. So this time around I don't see it being as big of an issue. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. Are you a little worried that it's not using Pascal and that is going to be weaker than the PS4? Or do you think they went with the right idea, using MAXWELL, so you can keep the cost down and still be able to run games at similar quality? Most likely be less quality graphics, probably like less than medium settings or whatever. But yeah, let me know what you think about this, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.